Welcome everybody to this introductory webinar about getting started with the GovAI Coalition. If you're here, you're likely a new member or an existing member that is acquainting yourself with the coalition. So welcome. My name is Rich Oppenheim from Regional Government Services, and I'm joined today by Sahur Noor from the City of Detroit. Sahur and I co-lead the Readiness and Adoption Committee here at the coalition, and one of our key objectives is to educate members about AI. That includes giving our new members an orientation to the coalition so you can get started using the resources and connecting with other members. What we're going to cover in today's webinar is go over a slight overview of what the coalition is and what it aims to do. We're going to talk about how to get started at the coalition, some key resources to keep in mind as you're implementing AI at your agency, some helpful templates you can use, and then we'll dive into some statistics around what resources have been really useful to agencies. And then we'll finish it up with next steps and a call to action about what you can do beyond this webinar. So just a little bit about the coalition. The coalition was founded by the City of San Jose in November of 2023. The overall mission of the coalition is to empower public sector entities to harness the potential of AI for public good, and really focusing on advancing the use of AI to enhance resident and staff lives by using AI for the social good, ensuring ethical, non-discriminatory, and responsible AI governance, promoting vendor accountability, improving government services, and fostering cross-agency collaboration and knowledge sharing. The coalition has been recognized as a national leader in AI policies and innovations. And all the cities that are members of this coalition have been a part in helping this coalition grow and provide resources to all the member agencies in the coalition. We do that by participating in a variety of committees that are dedicated towards specific actions and activities for the coalition. There is a governing board at the coalition, and the San Jose facilitation team manages the operations and also provides facilitation support to each of the committees that you see below. The Readiness and Adoption Committee really focuses on AI education and training and also onboarding new members. There's also an upskilling effort that's taking place there, which is helping people understand how to upskill their own employee workforces and creating a playbook around that. In the data governance section, they're really focused on how you can create a data strategy as you move forward in your AI implementation, and how you can structure and prepare your data for sharing and create all the access controls that are necessary to keep secure data secure and not shared beyond the groups that need access to that data, and really helping you think through that data governance cycle as you prepare for AI. The Procurement Committee is really focused on helping explore negotiations with potential vendors and developing cooperative agreements and focusing on how you can implement AI through AI vendors providing services to your agency. The industry relations is really focused on building an AI registry and creating a resource for member agencies of the coalition to work with responsible AI vendors who are implementing AI in a responsible and ethical way. The Use Cases Committee is really focusing on a variety of applications of AI in our agencies, both within our agencies and with our communities, and creating examples of use cases and plug and play applications that other agencies can use. It's a great repository for understanding all the ways that AI can be helpful to an agency, and you can jump in the databases they have if you're exploring an idea, and if somebody's already working on that, then you can get a head start and not have to start from scratch. There's lots of opportunities in that committee to jump in and get involved in the variety of use cases that they are building out. And last, the community engagement team is really focused on how we are working with our communities with AI, both in how AI can help with community engagement, but also how we can explain to our communities how the agencies that work for them are utilizing AI. So we're really working on an engagement playbook there with those community groups and residents, and also working on academic partnerships to help build a solid foundation in our community engagement.
All right. I My name is Sahir, and I want to go over some of the steps of how you can get started in being either a part of this coalition or getting started on how do you consume all the wonderful resources available on the Gov Coalition, either on the website or the community itself. We have several resources and all the good stuff. Anyway, my name is Sahar. I work for City of Detroit, and I co-chair the adoption committee with Rich. So I want to say how go on. I want to go into details of how you can get started. So if you are just looking at this recording and you have not already joined, there are ways you can join. And or even if you have joined and you want to see how some of your other colleagues can join, there is a registration form. The link is provided. We can share the link as well if needed. And you can fill out the form and it's very simple registration process, which gives you access to numerous resources. How do we join a committee? We can become a member first, and then you can sign up to any of the specific committees that you want to get involved. Within committees, you have focus groups and all that, where you can volunteer to contribute or even provide any kind of feedback. So those are some of the things that you can get started, and we can cover more details as we go along in the next slides. But if you are already a member and you are inundated with a lot of different resources and you don't know where you would go next, there are tons of resources and templates that you can use. For example, some of the resources and some of the templates that we will be sharing shortly, we have used, I myself, in my organization, my City of Detroit, we've used some of the templates that we can cover. So you can break it down on how you can get started. Next, please. All right. So, some of the first things in how, now that you are committed to using AI responsibly in your government agency, and you're trying to figure out, where do I go from here? How do I start governing this? The first things that you would need is you have to have a work group or a committee internally to your organization too. And as a suggestion, this can be a part of your committee or your work committee, like cybersecurity, legal team, purchasing, and of course, support from the IT or technology leadership, your CIO, to be supporting, participating, and then anybody can volunteer to become an AI expert. You can join the coalition, and once you join, you can just learn a lot from hearing various different people of all different titles and positions in the coalition that talk about their unique challenges or experiences or unique needs, or common needs, which can help. If you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you can borrow and use from what people have successfully implemented. So those are the suggested areas in the organizations that, if they are a part of that, it'd be very helpful in governing AI in the organization. So it also one more thing I'd like to add, Rich reminded me about this, and I think it's very important. Not all organizations are, say, for example, the size of city of Detroit. You may not have a separate cybersecurity team, or even a even IT, for example. Like, you may not have different departments, or different areas in your organization. So it depends on the size and the type of organization that you are part of. For or medium size or bigger organizations like San Jose, City of Detroit, or medium ones like ours, or anything like that, you can have these participants that will help you. But it's not a set rule. This is just a guide that can help you navigate and get started. And also there is this, you can scan the quick start guide, which will help you. It will take you to the link on the coalition website that has tons of material. Will walk you through how do you get started too. Next one. Thank you. We'll talk about the resources that are available. So there are tools that are available from the coalition that helps you go from 0 to 90 days in AI governance. So some of the things that has helped, and that has helped for us too. Maybe we did it a little bit in a different order based on our priority, but generally, if you go in this order, that it's again, I just suggested order that will help you. So number one, how do I prepare my agency to govern AI? First things first, you need to have a policy, because if you are talking about responsible use of AI, how do you keep folks accountable within the organization? There's an external policy and internal policy, like even for, let's say, your staff or your department to have to use the policy, there should be a policy defined even for the organization. And there is there is policy, and there is policy manual, and their templates are available on the coalition website. And then there is this adoption community that I co-chair with Rich, and in there you have educational library, policy examples, and all that you can utilize. Then there is another committee for use case guides that also has AI metrics. There is translation database for, the most common usage is LLMs, chatbots, and whatnot. And many organizations like mine, we have different languages that we serve the residents, and how do you translate? So if you have, like, for a lot of common things, if you have translation database, people can use from that. And we also have vendor demos that you can utilize from there. The next one is the next resource is the fact sheet, where we have several fact sheets. So a fact sheet is like, just a quick information on the vendor. Say Microsoft is looking at, trying to get Copilot or anything from Microsoft. If Microsoft submits, I mean, Microsoft is a big player, but the reason of this fact sheet is so that you have information about what product, not what product, the product that they are trying to propose, how are they looking at some of the important aspects, like Are there biases in your model, or how have you tested the data? What has it been trained on? Things like that. So that anybody consuming AI products need to know what to ask from the vendor. So this fact sheet helps you understand some of the aspects that are necessary for the agencies to look into. So as a help, the coalition had several vendors volunteer and submit the fact sheets in general for people to understand how those can be filtered, what information is available. And for example, for us too, City of Detroit, when we are looking at either during the RFP or even generally, if anybody has a roadmap of either changing the product to include AI component or not, we send the fact sheet to them and say, hey, if you have any plans of implementing AI in the existing products, or whether we are doing the RFP for new products, we say, why don't you fill out this fact sheet and we can see how good or how responsibly you have developed the AI component. So the fact sheet helps you in that. And then the next sort of resources is the vendor agreement and AI addendum. So once the contract is made, if your contract is already the templates in your organization has no component of AI in that, because AI is still new, there is AI addendum that can become a part of the contract or vendor agreement that will help you with the language and accountability with AI. This also has a buyer's guide to LLMs, several shareable contracts with the repository with a Pavilion. It's an excellent source. There's just numerous examples there that you can see and borrow from that if you have to for your organization. So that's, to me, that's the meat of the matter. When you have to build the contracts, I have to do that for my organization. I have to, a lot of my time goes into negotiating contract with the vendors, working with our law department. And so having that language and some of the examples is extremely helpful. And then the next resource is incident response plan template that we have. It's like, for any incident in any contract, you have, I asked for a building permit, but I didn't get it in time, or the fees it's showing is something else. The softwares can glitch anytime, and I would not see AI as any different. But how you respond to that, like some of the existing software, like if you have an error, you can hold it to the SLAs and say, it was supposed to be up, this is not working, or I'm not seeing the report that I usually see, or things like that. There are incidents like that. For AI specific, there are incidents like, what do I do if my AI, like instead of when I say give me this in the chatbot or anything, give any command and it's just glitching and just giving you, say, something completely irrelevant or something. So it's not any different than any other incident, but because it's AI and with some of the aspects, one needs to be aware of how to respond to any issues within AI. It could, for all practical purposes, it's not glitching, it's showing right. But if it's showing the wrong information, then how do you address that? So there is templates for that, like how you can how you can prepare or respond to any incident. Plus, we have deepfake staff training material, resources, and the NIST AI maturity assessment and information that you can use. Also, we have a lot of tutorials on the YouTube channel at the link given here on the screen. Please subscribe to that and review all our material on that channel. Next one, please. So there is this step-by-step governance guide. Like I just said, again, there is a quick start here that you can scan and go to the website. It'll take you to the exact location, but it has the information available. It'll help you how to get started. It'll walk you through how you can start using the templates and resources available on the coalition. And like at what stage, which people in the organization can help navigate this process at each step is also guided in the coalition. If you start looking at that, and also provide feedback if you have other suggestions or something worked for you, something didn't work for you, we're happy to listen to you and see how we can make it better. Next one, please. There is a deliverable guide. So policy template and manual and all the incident response and vendor addendum, all those are different things that you can have, but there's a deliverables guide on what deliverables you can have for your agency. Again, that is also on the YouTube on our coalition channel. A link provided, and the scan is also there for you to go to the exact location. So getting into the AI policy, so it's a template given which has various components in the document itself. You can work with your executive sponsor and broader leadership and see what's your organization's approach to AI. There's this template. This is so wonderful. When we created for City of Detroit, we borrowed heavily from the template, but of course, it's not like exact match. We have some of the other aspects that we wanted to cover or remove. We've done that accordingly. So the broader policy template is available. You can take parts of it, all of it as is. It's widely used. I think it's one of the most used template on the coalition. So again, in the policy, just wanted to also highlight some of the sensitive areas, like prohibited uses. That section I feel is the most contentious. There are departments that want to prohibit, like you have biometrics and stuff like that. Some of them don't use it. So if you see in the template itself, you may want to tweak that to your organizational use or your specific case. And when you're trying to implement We recommend that you talk to the public safety department and other areas to see how, if there is an existing use case or what, how it should be tweaked or used, modified in your own agency. There is also a draft email that you can send within your organization to understand how you want to um, modify for your own agency or develop for your own agency. So we have, like we talked about earlier, we have several different stakeholders and work groups. We have policy adoption work group. We have where we work with the policy itself, and then also education. But we have all of this. Like if you go to the link, you will see for the policy manual and all the different resources. Again, the needless to say, the link will take you to the exact location. But what we also do in the coalition is if anybody has implemented a policy, then we request folks members to upload it to our SharePoint location so that others can see how different agencies took the template and how they modified and what's a working copy. So those are the examples that are there. You can see some of the cities have working policy document uploaded. So you can see a template, you can actually see a developed policy from the template or not. As an example, you can take it as is or modify it to your agency, but has wonderful examples. So for policy template, policy adoption, in the previous phase, I had chaired that committee to help people implement a policy. And you can reach out to me via this email address if you need any specific, like even after looking at that, if you are either overwhelmed or have specific questions. I can't promise I know all the answers, but I will try to help finding from our other resources. So reach out to me and I can provide help specifically to the policy and policy adoption too. We also have a newsletter. If you scan, you can go to the monthly newsletter that we have. Isn't it monthly, Rich?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see archive of all the different months issues, the newsletter issues that you will find on the website. That's excellent resource too to see what's going on, catch up with all the happenings. All right, looking at the resources, there is you can get started with all these different ones. Like for example, AI assistance for government. You have quick AI assistance. If you go to the resources page, you will find this. Even though this looks very small over here, the links are provided, and once you go onto the website, you will have information on that. And what's the procurement, like how AI is procured by the government, some good examples, templates given there. like I was talking about the use cases by Pavilion, you have a lot of use cases into the repository with Pavilion. You can use that. There's link provided for the newsletter, and also use cases with the translation GPT that government is using. One of these were, I think this was also showcased in the last coalition. So, learning from different members that they have tried or have the resources are all that generally, which is a good use for everybody. We have posted on the coalition website that you can reach out and use those. And then again, this is excellent work here where you're looking at translation pairs. If you go to the website, it's phenomenal. 26.9K translation pairs in 15 different languages from 9 agencies. So this is an excellent work that we can borrow as is or use for your own agencies. And there are several metrics that we can cover with the AI use cases. All right, getting into the procurement, like I said, it's the contract hub with Pavilion, where you have various different contracts there that you can use. There is buyer's guide, generally for any AI tool, if you're even considering what are the things that you can prepare for. And then the questions for government leaders that'll help prepare your organization for that. And then again, just trying to say again that there are 50 plus fact sheets here. And what is a fact sheet? I tried to cover very briefly, but if you want a detailed walkthrough on what is a fact sheet, how do you get started, and if you want to deep dive into that, there's this link provided. It's also on the YouTube channel that can help you. Now going into templates. So AI policy template you can share with your leadership, and the AI fact sheet and vendor agreement you can share with purchasing and legal department. AI policy manual and use cases you can share with AI experts, and incident response plan with cybersecurity team is a suggestion again. And I'll tell you this, that for AI policy, again, going into my specific organization's example, we have, like it suggested, the CIO, legal, purchasing, and all that. I have a committee internally that we meet at a set frequency and talk about any updates to the policy. The GovAI Coalition came up with another template version. When is the right time for us to upgrade to that, or what are the new changes and things like that? Even if you have already developed a policy, talk about what are the updates, what are some of the challenges and things like that. It can cover with that. And with the fact sheet, we had also done, for different agencies, it might be the different, maybe you need some other folks too. This is a suggestion. And this is what had worked for us too. Like, we took the fact sheet and we explained to the purchasing team. Of course, they will not understand all the technical details in the fact sheet, but for you to be able to explain to them, these are the things that we need to look into from the vendors, and what is the vendor agreement that we need to add into the contract, so that we can have accountability. A policy manual, it's more for the, at least in our case, more for the internal IT team, the members from the data team, cybersecurity team, and all that, to see um, how the policy manual and use cases can be used, updated, and all that. In the incident response plan, it's for us, it's not, not only the cybersecurity team, it's also the um, departmental IT lead, to say, okay, every uh, every IT leader who serves different departments, there'll be specific applications, and if something happens there, not only cybersecurity team, the IT lead for those departments will also need to be aware of how to prepare yourself in cases of any incident. So this is, again, a suggestion of templates within your AI team, how to use, how to share, how to prepare. Um, Again, this is also talking about different templates that we have. These are quick thumbnails, not thumbnails, they're bigger pictures. But if you go to the website, you can see there are, and also links are provided, but you can get a policy, governance handbook, the algorithmic, I can never say, impact assessment form, or vendor agreement, AI fact sheets, or fact sheet for providers, all the incident response plan, and various beautiful templates that we have that we can borrow.
Great. Thank you, Sahar, for that very robust walk through all of the resources that the coalition has built. I'm always amazed when I look at that long list of everything that has been built since the coalition was started, and it's really impressive. And there's so many useful tools for agencies of any size, as you mentioned. So wanted to do a little dive into showing you where agencies are using these resources. It's just sort of scanning through here, you can see obviously the AI policy is obviously the starting point and the place where people use these templates the most. This was a starting point for me when I joined the coalition. I was really looking for an AI policy, and we had to amend ours because our agency is quite different than a city. But it was very helpful as a starting point and very robust tool for us to, work from and not have to feel like we had to start from scratch. But all of these resources, as you can see, have been utilized by a large number of agencies when you consider the size of the coalition, which is now, I think, over 700 agencies nationwide. So these usage statistics are very robust when you think about the size of the coalition. And it's really nice to see that these have all been utilized in some shape or form by agencies that are members of the coalition. So again, we have some more statistics on the use of some of the specific tools like the AI registry, the deepfake education materials, the translation database. Again, policy seems to be the main driver here of these examples, but all of these are having some hits. Our shared contracts, contracting language, vendor demos. So this is really interesting to see how people are actually accessing these tools and how useful they are. Broad appeal across agencies. And then these buyer's guides are, becoming very useful as well, and sort of exploring, like, how do I get started with, buying an enterprise AI tool, whether that's ChatGPT, some other LLM, or, any other type of AI system. And not only are you getting information about how to buy, but how to measure the performance of that. So these are additionally great resources that other agencies are leaning on right now. So we wanted to sum up the webinar today with talking about what next steps there are. And there are a few here. The first one is to register for the coalition. A lot of you that are in this meeting obviously have joined, but we also encourage you to encourage other agencies in your network to sign up and register for the coalition, and to encourage other people in your agency to sign up and register, as Sahar mentioned earlier. And once you've signed up, join the committees. You know, we can get calendar invites for any of the committee meetings. And there's a video walkthrough link here, and then access links here to the various committee meetings for the different committees that have created all the great content that you've seen. There's also a link here for the Slack. There's a Slack tool that people can use to engage with each other in the work that the coalition does. And just a quick note to this, the Slack is for members that are government agencies or in academic areas. Currently, the Slack is not available to vendors that might be supporting the work of the coalition. So there is a slight limitation on who can go into the Slack tool. But if you're an agency or you're in academia, you will have access to that Slack team. As Sahar mentioned earlier, she is opening her door for one-on-one sessions to help you get started here and to think about where do I go first and where do I go after I've done the first thing, and engaging long-term with the coalition. So we thank her for her excellent work in that area. And last, a call to action. We really encourage everybody who joins the coalition to get involved. All of the great resources that you've seen in this video were created by members just like yourselves who came together to work collaboratively and volunteer their time to the benefit of themselves and other agencies. And it's really been amazing in my time here to see all of the great engagement with the coalition and all the energy and enthusiasm on building these tools in a collaborative fashion. So as it says here, it's for government, by government, and these tools have really saved me and other member agencies so much time in implementing AI and implementing it in a way that, you know, is safe, is responsible, that's in line with best practices, that's ethical. So really great. But please join the committees and focus groups where applicable. Sahar and I are on the Readiness and Adoption Committee, and I think that's a really great committee as a jumping on point to learn about how, you know, the resources that are available, the policy implementation, and then the education and upskilling of your workforce. So it's a good jumping on point, and then you can jump into any of these committees if you have an interest in those areas as well. So I wanted to thank everybody for walking through this webinar with us today. And Sahar, do you have any last thoughts before we close out the recording?
No, Rich, I think you covered it all. Thank you. Yeah, just thank you for making it through this webinar to the end. And we look forward to seeing new faces in the coalition. Thanks, Rich.
Great. And we will be sharing all of these links in addition to the recording and hopefully on the YouTube video that is made from this webinar within the body of the YouTube announcement or the appointment. We can put in a lot of the links that are in here as well so that you can have access to those. Or at least a link out to the deck where you can actually open the deck and click on the resources of interest to you. So really looking forward to you joining the coalition, and welcome aboard. Hope to see more of you in the future.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.